Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids. Today we're going to be going through all of the recent fusions and guaranteed champions, and to do that, we're joined by none other than a man whose name begins at Y and ends in ST. YST.
How's it going, Nubby? Always a pleasure to be here and looking forward to this one. When you actually gave me that idea, I was like, oh, it's actually a good time to reflect, see some of these past fusion champions and how we valued them over time, right?
Exactly, yeah. So it was, again, I cannot take credit. It was J_B325. His friends call him, though, just B325. Says, looking back on how you use recent fusions or guaranteed champs, and if you use them, maybe testing them again, rebuilding. What we're going to do, I said, we'll do it simply enough. We've got the full list of fusions on hellhades.com. It's now been updated. And yeah, just, did you do the fusion? Do you still use them? And what build do you have on them? I guess either way, what build? I don't know. If you still use them, what build? And we'll see. I am curious. I'm very curious. I mean, just off the top of your head, what percentage of fusions do you think that we're going to actually still use?
I would say in the range of 3 to 4, potentially, I think is fair to say. Yeah.
I was thinking maybe about half, so we'll see. I'm more optimistic. I'm being optimistic. Let's find out. Okay. Well, the first one then we're only going to do from the last year, so we're not going to do Encore Hour earlier. So Armanz was March last year. Do you have him? Do you use him? What build? YST.
Yeah, I definitely, it's the champion I still definitely use, but I think he's nowadays limited to my live arena teams only, or potentially Siege as well.
Yeah.
I don't use them in Classic at all, or any kind of PvE content that I can recall outside of Curse City.
Yeah.
I've actually got, what have you got here? Okay, so I've got a very different build to you, I think. So I've got I used to go with Perception for a very long time. Oh, how's it going? We're getting very close here, Nubs. It's very disturbing.
Tell me more. Whisper in my ear.
All right.
Hello.
Oh, you tickled my ear there. Getting ticklish. Yeah, so I actually started off with a Perception build. Very classic, you know. I feel like I'm getting told off by my teacher, guys. You better build him right, YST. Yeah, so originally was Perception, something that every player can relate to, pretty easy to obtain through the Forge. But I've actually kind of shifting towards a supersonic / stone skin build, you know? Trying to cut in for some PvP battles and stuff. I can see you've gone a very similar approach with the 4-piece set.
Yeah.
And I felt like the blend of the two is really cool. Maybe I've gone the wrong route. Maybe what you've done is a better alternative potentially, with a bit of pinpoint in there.
Yeah, I reckon it's both viable. Yeah. I'm pretty much the same as you as well. Obviously did the fusion, still use them constantly for all the arena game modes. Yeah, I don't think I do use them for anything outside of arena. And yeah, I've gone for a supersonic. I've just gone fast supersonic. I think there's lots of ways you could build them just fast. Fast supersonic, stone skin supersonic, lots of different options. Depends on kind of how he fits into your teams and where you're using him as well. So I've gone for the 6-star go first job.
Yeah, he's a very versatile champion, right? Like, depending where you are in the game, let's just say you missed the fusion, you had the luxury of pulling him later on down the line. From early game to end game, he holds the value, and I don't see a world where a player wouldn't invest some of their best gear into him.
Yeah, for sure. I by the way, I did the whatever path or whatever it was for the 5-star soul, and I just saved up and bought his 6-star soul. So that's been a recent acquisition. So yeah, cool. Next up, YST, you're either blocking the stats or you're blocking the champs. Make your mind up, honestly. Eostrid Dreamsong. That was the April fusion last year. Will I go first and then you second? Will we alternate?
Yeah,
Maybe we'll do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so for me, Eostrid, I did do it. I use her a little bit, but not as much as I used to. So I actually have now, I did use her for a good while in Cursed set for Hydra. But she has now been replaced in the Hydra team. She's no longer in there. And she is now in like my fastest gear. So I think I will be switching that onto Lazarius, my second fastest gear, I should say. So she's like a speed champion for Arena who has a bit of damage. Like I said, I think I'll switch Lazarius into this build. So I still use her a little bit, but she's really been falling off on most of her faction wars. So that's me. How about you? Did you do it? Do you use her? And if so, what build?
I think at the time I felt like she was very underestimated by the community in the kind of broader spectrum of things. Like
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of, oh, if you've got an arbiter, you don't need this champion. But fact was, she became one of the best Hydra champions in the game, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
And it comes down to the combination of effects, right? The increased speed, the decreased speed, decreased attack, all of the stuff that she's bringing to the table, or weaken, sorry,
Weekend,
decreased speed and
yeah,
weaken.
weekend. Hmm.
And I just felt like that's very valuable for a player. And for me, she was in my main Nightmare Hydra team for the longest. However, she has now dropped down to my Brutal team. So she's no
Yeah.
longer in that thing. I
Okay.
actually got a built-in a reflex and I've not changed it
Oh, that's
since,
good. Yeah.
personally.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
I think the approach that you've taken, I've definitely encountered a lot of people in the arena that's using this more than an arbiter as their kind of terminator manipulator.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say nowadays she's just a brutal Hydra champion for me personally in a
Yeah.
reflex.
Yeah. Yeah. Like for me, I used her because she's got 5 base speed higher than Arbiter. That's really good.
Very
She's
good.
super fast, and I don't have the factions completed for either Arbiter or her, but she's got a 5-star blessing. So I was like,
Ooh.
Eostrid actually ends up being fast. I think I got a better banner as well. So it's like she's just faster than me than Arbiter. So yeah, I used her in the arena challenge with Alice. If you guys want to check it out and see Eostrid in action in this exact build, actually. Okay, cool. So Eostrid, both of us use her a little bit, but falling off a tiny bit. Wixwell then,
Mm.
Vault Keeper Wixwell. He was the May fusion. This was the Community Weeks one, voted for by the players, and nobody had anything mean to say about the choices made. Um, what do you think, Wixwell? Did you do it? Do you use him still? And what build, if so?
So, okay, I went for the champion, and I remember building a clan boss team on the test server, not around the kind of stuff that he does now with like the infinite growth and some crazy clan boss teams. I actually
Right.
did it in a more traditional style when I didn't understand the growth yet. I don't think it was kind of discovered.
Mm-hmm.
I would say apart from the initial test server testing, I did actually go for the fusion. I've actually never built or ever used Vaultkeeper Wixwell. Fun
Wow,
fact.
really? Wow.
Never. I was just having a quick look on my account and he's still got 0 accessories, 0 gear. I've not used him anywhere. And it's
Dude,
not because I think the champion's trash.
that is
It's
great.
just
Yeah.
I just feel like I've got champions that already fulfills the roles he does for my teams, I guess.
Hmm,
Um, but yeah,
that's fair.
my clan boss team's sorted, my Hydra team's sorted. I don't need provokers, but he's very good in those areas, right? It's just not something I need personally.
Yeah, for example, I use them for Clan Boss. I think this is really funny. The team isn't very good on Ultra Nightmare, 155 million, but on Nightmare, because it doesn't 870.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's because the shield. I don't have a shield set in the team, and the shield just gets broken and they die on Ultra.
Mhm.
But I'm like, that's still more than a 1 key, so I don't care to fix it. I just don't care. Like I've got a rare in there for the advanced quest. I'm like, I
Oh,
don't
that's
care
clever.
if it's lost like 700 million damage between difficulties.
Yeah.
It's fine. So yeah, but I use him less than I used to, but he's in my clan boss team. I've lost
Mhm.
him now. Where's he gone? So yeah, for me, I obviously did the fusion. I haven't built in 9-piece protection for just the most damage boost, and these are my stats anyway. And yeah, like I said, I don't actually use him that much anymore, but he is really good. So yeah, okay, cool. Next up, ooh, a popular fusion, the Incarnate. I did the fusion. I did
Okay.
it. The Incarnate. I have actually, believe it or not, in the last few days, started slapping some gear onto her.
Oh
But I've never
my.
used her until now. But I just did pull Fina recently. So I was like, oh, actually, you know what? The Incarnate, slap her in a 9-piece protection, and she could actually work well for just providing some buffs for like Fina, Giga Charging, like Supreme Elhain or something. So I
Yeah.
am actually potentially going to use her simply because I've got Fina, the faction unity, and she actually provides a good chunk of buffs. There's not that many champs that do, but she's literally sat in the vault since the fusion, and only now, not even coming out, but it's like maybe I'll stick some of my spare protection gear onto her. Maybe. What about
Yeah.
you, YST?
Okay, I actually skipped this fusion
Fair?
in
Yeah,
its
fair.
entirety, and honestly, I don't think she's a trash champion at all,
Hmm.
personally.
Yeah.
Because if you manage to, I don't know, you went for the fusion, depending where you are in the game, or all of that good stuff. I think ally protection, strengthen on a 3-turn cooldown. That's pretty nice, right?
Yeah.
On that A3, and the A2 bringing a nice proportional shield based on her defense. And there's a lot of nice support abilities going on. But just for me, I've got so many champions filling these roles. And I just felt like the kind of synergy with Arbiter wasn't good enough for me personally. I don't think it blends very well. And that was one of the main reasons I skipped it, because roles covered already. Passive isn't as good as I want it to be. And yeah,
Fair.
that was pretty much it.
Yeah, that's fair. She's definitely one of the worst fusions we've had, for sure. Packmaster Shy'ek, then you're up first. Did you do it? Etc.
I did go through it, and I was anticipating those hounds was the main reason.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I was like, guys, we're rubbing our hands, like, I don't know, some kind of Cerberus or three-headed dog out of Harry Potter was coming, or, that's what I had in my mind, like some kind of crazy champ that was going to synergize, but we've just not seen it yet. Is it ever going to come? Who knows? Who knows, right?
Right. It's the opposite of who let the dogs out. It's where the heck are the dogs in the first place, man? Where were the dogs?
A bunch of rares, dude. It's crazy.
Right.
But I think at its very core, I think before the taunt was changed, he was a lot more valuable because of obviously the devouring situation. Since they removed that, I still think he holds value for players because he is bringing in 10-meter fills, a placement of block buffs, and playing a very good role of a mischief tank with all the self buffs as well, right? And I think just for that alone, pretty good for me. Have I used him? I used him a little bit just for testing, and the main reason I went for the fusion was the hounds, and they never brought them out. So I would say in the realm of not a champion I've used since his release.
Yeah, same here. I think I did use him very briefly. I think it was against Odin Event Dungeon, because the turn meter boosts and AoE block buffs. So he's in some random gear. Clearly not the same gear I had back then. He's clearly just got some filler gear. He's too slow for that now. But yeah, that's about it. So for me as well, obviously did the fusion, barely used him, if at all. And I mean, he's not a bad champ, so maybe one day with some hounds. But yeah, pretty much I'm exactly the same. Same as you.
Yeah.
Skorid the Halfspawn. This is me first then. So August. I think I did this one. I didn't get his soul though. Have I used him? No, never used him. Well, actually, maybe I used him for like Cursed City or something. He's got accessories on. I must have used him for a Cursed City stage. That's about it. Masteries are done. Haven't been put on. Not booked. No, I've never used him. I don't need him. I've got much better champs that do the same thing on my account. He looks cool. But yeah, so did him. Don't use him. No gear. What about you, mate?
It's another champion I actually skipped, and for me as a player, like obviously it's very common. People always message to me, "Why is T like you go for all the fusions? You say that everything's good," and I'm like, sometimes if it's not for you, it's not for you, right? Take a breather because there's fusions every month, and it just comes down to the individual player. But for me, Skorid, the reason I didn't go for it is I felt like there was a lot of similarities to Morrigan. Or not Is it Morrigan?
Moranix.
That was it, and that's a champion that I actually did use, and I think I still use in one of my Hydra teams. And, bringing in Hex, nice damage, decreased defense. For me, there's a lot of similarities going on, so I felt like I've got more than enough Hex options at this point to not need this dude, and he wasn't doing anything out of this world, in my opinion, so that was an easy skip for me.
Yeah. 100% agreed on that. Thor Faehammer.
Oh, here we go.
Is this one me or you? I think it's you first for Thor, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thor is a champion that I would say probably one of the most used fusions I've ever done in 6 years of playing this game.
Damn.
I think he is a whopper of a champion, and congrats to anyone that got their hands on him. Like, he is up there with my Harima, who's in a 6-star crushing rend on my main Hydra team, and they go back and forth and put in a phenomenal job. And I got him in a, let me just have a quick look, actually. I believe it's Merciless, 100%. Yes, it's a Merciless. I've got him in some of my best gear out there. And, he's a very good counter to Odin in some arena teams that I see, going through that block damage. And, I just think overall just holds a very strong value as a top-tier damage dealer on my account. But mainly for Hydra, I would say, is my main use.
100% agree. Yeah, I think he is kind of underrated as a spicy pick for arena, because he does ignore that, the Odin counter. It's kind of, I think I need to do that more. I'm the same. This guy's amazing. Use him a lot. He's in my brutal Hydra team for me, my second best one. Ninja is in my top with Marius. Ninja does more damage, but yeah, he's like this, and he's got a cat's gaze for me.
Oh, cat's
Nature's
gaze.
Wrath.
That would be so nice for Thor, man.
Yeah, right,
I've
with
only
all
got
that
one,
ignored
and I'm
effect.
just like moving it around everywhere. Like, oh, can I get some damage and stuff? But, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, next up, Brewguard Jeroboam. This one is me first. I think this was one of the worst. This is one of the only fusions I've not done. I don't have him, so I
Okay.
can't find him in the index. I kind
There it
of
is.
semi-wanted him because I've got Vizig. But I think
Okay.
this was when I went away to Japan, or at least coming up to it. So he was he was end of September, start of October fusion. Yeah, I was in Japan. And I was like, it's not happening. This is like the biggest holiday of my life. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. I'm not doing a fusion. So I didn't do him. I don't miss him. I wouldn't use him, and he wouldn't have any gear. But I don't know. How about you?
Yeah, I don't even know what this guy does anymore, to be
No.
honest.
Yeah,
I
forget,
skipped it.
right? What's he do?
He's like, what is it? Increase, what is it? Buff
Increase-
duration?
yeah,
He's
enemy-
a buff extender, man. Like,
On a
there
4
is...
turn. Yeah.
You could
Shield.
go Godseeker, Neri, Sunlash Survivor, Anchorites, there's endless. Lady Mikage. It's like, once you've got these champions, do you need this? And a removing of all debuffs from all allies. If you've got a Mithrala Lifebane, do you need that? And for me, the shield value is too less, 15%. It's
Yeah,
just
why is it that 50? Why is it so low?
Yeah, like for 2025, we need to be seeing 25%, of that kind of values. And
Yeah.
yeah, just a champion I felt like just didn't hold value.
Yeah, he's definitely underwhelming. Gretel Hagbane then up next. So this is you first. Did you go for Gretel, Hansel, all that?
I did go for Gretel, actually, and I think, I don't know, maybe I just liked Hansel and Gretel. I thought it was a cool little collaboration. In terms of the champion itself, I think she's, what is it, all based around damage, right?
Yeah, damage dealer. Yeah, with turn meter
Yeah, so
pushback. Yeah, multi-hit.
I've definitely been wiped out in arena a couple times to the pairing. I will say that.
Mhm.
It's a champion I've not had the time to fully invest to see the full value, to be honest, because I don't have I was really hoping to get the partner, which I never managed to.
Yeah,
So
he's
that
really
kind of
good
put me
with it.
back, like, it was a kind of get the Gretel in case I get the Hansel, right? So I've
Yes.
not had the chance to build her yet to speak on it too much.
Yep. No, agreed. Yeah, pretty much same for me. You can see I do have her, but funny enough, I clearly put her in the reserve vault and forgot I had her. I should level her up
Yep.
for a champ training event sometime. Need to level her up. Yeah, no, I've never used her. Yeah, I feel the same way as you. She's actually not bad, and I have seen them used to actually pretty good effect in arena. Like I was impressed when I tested them on the test server. But
Yeah.
for me, they're very high investment. It was like, okay, well, I need to get her and him, and again, because they're competing on my account against, you've seen, champs with 5-star souls. I need their 5-star souls, otherwise what's the point in using them when I've already got damage
Yeah.
dealers with 5-star souls? I'm like, that's a lot, and then they need to be in really good gear. They can definitely do work, but I thought it was very high investment. But they're cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't use her. I'm not planning to ever use her unless I get Hansel, then maybe for fun. But yeah, not too important. Yeah, but I thought she was a fine fusion. It's just, not used. Same thing with, for me, Scar. I thought Skorid was fine to be a fusion, but just not personally useful.
Oh yeah, and
yeah, go on. Yeah.
oh, sorry. I was gonna say one more thing. I just seen Thor there. There was one thing I didn't mention. One
yeah.
area that I knew there was another area. I used him in my Finite Hard 10 team, which had no freeze champions for a speed
Ooh.
farm.
Oh,
That was a
sick.
really cool one, yeah. Because basically, what you
Nice.
would do is he's a great wave clearing potential. You're just flying through the waves, and
Yeah.
that's where a lot of the time gets sunk.
Yeah.
Also, he's a decreased speed option, which is nice.
Mhm.
But also is a multi-hitter that can re-roll. And one of my record times came from he re-rolled it so many times that the health went from like full to like 1/4 in like one kind of hit. It was crazy to see.
Damn.
Never been able to repeat it again, but it was wild. But that was just another thing I could speak about, though. Yeah.
I love it. All right, next up is Stokk. Oh, I do actually use Stokk. So I did do the Stokk
Yes.
fusion. I do use him, but I don't need to use him. This is the champion I use for fun, right? Because
Okay.
again, for me, he's Ogren. And by the way, I've got him built in regen with these sort of stats very fast. So I use him for dragon. To be clear, this is a downgrade from my regular dragon team. It is much slower, but I just enjoy Stokk with Vizig just for fun. And I think if I improved the gear, got some blessings on, more so get some blessings on them for the damage reduction, I think they could duo it and we could have 3 food in there. But this is something I barely ever do any dragon ever anyway. I just have them because I just personally really enjoy seeing all the like look at it, it's just beautiful. I enjoy seeing all the
You got
poisons
Delver
and
in
just
there.
oh
Ooh.
them blowing up and like we never see that. I used to as well, right? Some poison explosion teams for dungeons and like dark kale teams. That was great fun. I missed that. So this brings me
Yeah.
back. But does he actually do anything useful for my account in terms of like metagaming? No, but in terms of game enjoyment, hell yeah, he's super cool. What about you? Did you do Stokk?
I did go for Stokk, and I honestly think he's one of the better fusions we've had, honestly, in terms of, I actually did a collaboration with Fastidious recently, and we are speaking about power creep, and, I felt like he came in as the better version of Bad Elkazar in a sense, and,
Yeah.
he's bringing in these poisons, these weakens, and, the activations. It holds a lot of value. For me, I'm actually in the middle of building him. I ranked him up over the recent CVC. So I've not put him into any teams as of yet,
Hmm.
but he's definitely one that's on my hit list because I don't have a bunch of activators outside of Artak.
Right, right. Yeah, that's
So
true. That is true.
yeah,
You're
I
missing
think there's
those.
I think like what I might do is I've actually got a duo team with Senna Amberheart and Artak for Ice Golem Heart, and I'm thinking to go double activator strategy. I'm not sure how valuable it's going to be, but it might be something cool that will speed up my runs for sure.
Yeah, it probably would. Yeah, cool. I love it. All
Yeah.
right. Very, very nice.
You might also do this and get your gear there.
What's this? You want me to finish the
Oh no, I thought you was gonna quit out the battle there. I was like, no, you might
Nah,
get like some
man.
top tier speed gear, man.
Nah, we'll let him finish, but yeah.
Wicked.
Viewers get the gist. Lady Noelle up next. She was the Christmas
Mhm.
fusion, middle of December. Did you do it?
Yes, I did go for it, and she's actually. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is she the only AOE reviver that's on a 3-turn cooldown?
Yeah. Like, Marishka can technically revive people more, but it's a passive. For actives, yeah, she's 3 turns.
It's
Yeah.
it's probably one of the best revive, if not the best revive ability in the game. Like an AOE crowd control with a 10-meter revival is
Real
it's
good.
pretty
Yeah.
crazy to come out from a fusion, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as the theme with a lot of champions, I've not had the chance to fully invest in her yet, and she's on the hit list. This is a problem. Like when you have so many champions to build, it's like sometimes you go for the fusion, anticipating them for later.
Mm.
But she's definitely very similar to the Stokk the Broken, one that I am investing in to give her a fair shot. I think it came down to I was away for like 2 months or 3 months, and just all the catch up. I've just not managed time to do the fusions that I've built, right? Pretty
Yeah,
much.
fair. That's fair. Yeah,
Yeah.
for me, as you can see, I did her. I do use her. I use her for arena. I actually use her in tag arena with Sir Nicholas. I did a video on it. The old
Ah.
9-piece protection damage Sir Nicholas. It's great fun. He's got 110% crit rate, the perfect amount, obviously.
Do
And
you think the synergy is good?
yeah, I do.
You do? Okay. I thought it was
Yeah.
only clan boss stuff. That's interesting.
Nah, they're great in arena because like she's just you're unkillable the whole time. So it's great.
I guess so, yeah.
It's
Oh, that's
really
fun.
solid. So it's really nice actually for tag team arena against Siegfried, right? Which is normally almost impossible because he's so OP, but he can't do anything if you're unkillable. So you're like, chilling, Siegfried. You can't touch us. You can't splash
Yeah.
damage. One shot everyone if everyone's unkillable. Haha. So yeah, I for my build I have her in 6-piece stone skin and triple pinpoint. I actually might redo it because I run her with Sir Nicholas. She doesn't actually need the accuracy. I built her with high accuracy because I was like, oh, I'll run her without him. Effectively, I basically always run them together. So I actually think high resistance would be much better because again, she's unkillable most of the time. I think just having her be unable to be or very difficult to lock her out of her revive and her heal and all that would be more valuable. So I might she's on my list probably to re-gear, but yeah, I do use her. She's great, I think. Really good.
I'd really like to use it in like a siege or something. It's one that I'm gonna
Yeah.
note now to I'm happy we did this video because you kind of rank up these champions and you just forget to rank to kind of build them,
Yeah,
So
yeah. Oh, I mean, easily. Mad Hatter then is up next.
oh,
So this one is this me or you first? I've lost track again. I'm so bad. I
oh,
think
I
I'm getting
don't know.
old.
Go for it.
All right. I'll go for it. Mad Hatter. So yes, I did the fusion. I even got the soul for him, which he doesn't really need, but I wanted it. I like him a lot. And I use him. He's in my nightmare. He's in my top Hydra team. That's all I really use him for. Actually, I started using him for Dark Fae farming. Weirdly.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's a bit dodgy, mate. Hang on. Let's see. Can I do it? It's
So
kind
wait,
of
do
dodgy.
you not find him hard to take out? Because you've got him built pretty tanky, right?
No, because he gives you such a
Well,
but
of course you don't, for God's sake.
yeah. But the thing is, right? The thing is, like, look at this. Marius ally attack, plonk, just deletes them.
You don't even need that, really.
But the hilarious thing is that his passive is really good, but the Dark Fae clones him, and then this run fails sometimes. I only built this a couple of days ago. It fails sometimes because the Mad Hatter passive just fears you, and you get wrecked.
Oh yeah.
Like, which is it's really silly. This would also be, I don't know, I guess Marius needs to go first to kill them. But yeah, and then
Look at this free-to-play team. I love it.
Yeah, free to play. But yeah, like we all get true feared, so sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, it's nice. And anyway, yeah, that's a fun one.
That is funny.
Yeah, I have him built in 4 reflex, 4 merciless, which is like god tier for any of these support champs that don't do damage but are attacking a lot. And yeah, that's Mad Hatter. That's me. I've got him with weirdly Harmonic Impulse because I've got no way to deal with True Fear in my Hydra team. So this helps. It just resets his skills if he misses it, which is cool.
No, interesting.
Yeah. But yeah. So did you do the fusion?
Yeah, I went for the fusion. I think he looks badass in game. That was the first thing, but I've actually put him into the nightmare. I think he's in my hard team, but I think he's gonna go into my brutal instead. It is something that I'm gonna be working on. I just get carried away with that kind of instant battle. It's just like keep the teams the same as they are.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, it's definitely a champion I've invested in 100%. I've actually used them a lot more on my free to play because I managed to pull him. So obviously I've seen the kind of crazy value he has with the passives and had a lot of play testing with it. But on the main account, he's gonna be a Hydra champion for my brutal team. But he's actually built in a very similar way to you with the reflex.
Yeah, nice, cool. Yeah, he's so good, man. He's so good. And then the most recent fusion, and we don't even know at time of recording what the next one's going to be anyway. Esme the Dancer, the February fusion for 2025. Did you do it? And yeah, Esme.
I skipped it.
Okay.
And this honestly, I felt like she has that Eostrid Dreamsong effect to me. I think she's a bit of a underrated champion, but kind of fulfills many roles for a player's account, right? Weaken, block buffs, increase speed. There's a lot of similarities here to Eostrid.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons I didn't go for it. I've got an Eostrid Dreamsong,
Yeah.
So that's pretty much it. Like, for me, Eostrid does what she does, but I've got enough block buffs. I've got like 2 Feral the Barkhorns, like I don't need another block buffs champion, and I don't know. For me, I just wanted to skip it, and I skipped it.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I mean, I did it just kind of for the sake of it. I'm not planning to use her anywhere in my account. As you said, I have loads of better options. I've got so many champs, so I don't need her. I picked her up again, sort of like the Hansel and Gretel thing. I was like, oh, if I ever do pull Modo, I'll at least have her, so I've got the option to run them together. But yeah, I don't even know if she's gonna come in. Honestly, for me, for faction, like this faction is so stacked for faction wars. I don't know if I'd even use her, and Modo's not even in the faction anyway. So I don't know, but
it's a bit of
I've got her.
Some interesting synergies between the two. But
yeah, and again, she's not a bad fusion. She's actually a solid fusion, but just for an end game account, even a late game account, she might not have crazy value. Now, the other part of this, we'll go through it quickly. Well, what about guaranteed champs? So there's been a few. Where is it? So we've got some of them here. We won't go through the epics because we've lost YSD.
I've got perfect veiled there, guys.
So we'll just go through. So we're past this point. So we're past Narcissus. We don't need to talk about that. But we've got Padraig, Shannath, Freyja, and then there's a couple others I wrote down. There's also, we need to, this page, basically, if you guys want some behind the scenes, it's just like an issue with how the pages are laid out. That we cannot add more stuff to this page yet until the coding gets fixed. But hopefully that will be done now that Fusion 1's been done. But yeah, we also have Little Miss Annie and Belz the Reckoner. And funny enough, when I sat down to record this video, I thought I'd skipped Belz, but apparently I did it. I just saw him in my fragment portal, so apparently I did. But yeah, what about Padraig? Do you want to start us off? St. Patrick, March last year.
So I know that we spoke a little bit behind the scenes, and I was like, Nubs, I've not done any guaranteed since Genzin, dude.
Yeah.
And that was true to a certain extent, but I did go for Grand Oak Padraig, and I think
Yeah.
it was. I think the reason why I forgot that I went for him is it was during a fusion, and that was the reason I did it because I believe there was like a summon rush, and then there was like the path for Grand Oak, and I was like, I might as well just. Thanks to you, actually, you anticipated it right in your
Yeah,
video.
yeah. Oh, yeah. That
You're like,
was a
oh
good guess. The
yeah,
Irishness came through, eh?
yeah, and I think only because it was a part of a fusion, I went for it, and I am so glad that I did because
Mm,
he's in my Finite Hard 10 team. He's in so many teams. One of
yeah.
my Hydra comps. I think he's besides Lady Mikage to me, the best ally attacker in the game, and that's
Hmm.
just personal opinion. I think he holds that value.
Yeah, I'm there with you. So I did it. Yep, I did it. I use him, as you said, I use him in my Fire Knight Hard 10. I use him in my Brutal Hydra.
Mhm.
And yeah, he's just a great champion. For my build, I have him in Reflex and 5-piece protection. I actually need to switch him. I was just looking to see if I got Merciless accessories. I need to
Mhm.
switch him into the Mad Hatter style build. I think that's probably the best, which is the 4 Reflex, 4 Merciless, for maximum ally attack spam. And I need to get him a Journal of Necrotis at some point, but I don't have enough Journals of Necrotis. So yeah, but yeah, I use the guy. He's great. 9-piece protection is good on him too. And
Yeah.
yeah, he's phenomenal. Which one was next then? We have Shannath. Did you do
Ooh.
Shannath? Do you use Shannath?
I don't have Shannath, never summoned for Shannath, and she's actually, do you know, it's a funny one, right? I
Hmm.
actually think she's one of the best looking champs. I think she looks, just
Oh,
aesthetic
she's so
wise,
cool. Yeah.
massive fan of it. I've never actually even played with the champion. It's such a weird one for me. I'd love to
Hmm.
though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. For me, I think I either pulled her or I can't remember if I did this one. I do have Shamnath. I've never
Hmm.
used Shamnath. I did their masteries. I haven't got them booked though. So maybe they were used for Cursed City stage or something. But yeah, I've never really used them. Again, it's just that this age-old problem. She's a really good magic nuker, but I've got better magic nukers. I've got better nukers
It's
in
a
general, so I don't need
problem,
her.
yeah. You
Yeah.
always have to kind of weigh up those options in the end game, right? It's like
Mm.
you've got X, Y, and Z built in your craziest damage build. What can they really bring to the table that's going to outperform them outside of
Yes. Yeah.
just fun, right? That's obviously an element in the game that both me and you relate to. Is just some, like you see with Stokk the Broken.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just build a champion for fun, right? So
Yeah.
I'm sure that'll be
100%.
that for you.
Yeah, yeah. And I feel like with nukers, especially, like not having the 4-star, you're like, oh, the crit damage missing. So
Yeah.
that's a bad thing, I think, for the game. But hey, that's a whole topic for another video. October, we had the Freyja deck of Fate. This was very expensive. I was away in Japan. I did do it. I do use her. But what about you? Did you get Freyja or no?
I don't even want to speak about Freyja. Do
Oh
you know
shit.
what?
Okay.
I've got some beef with Freyja, right?
Wow.
So when the whole kind of event was on for the Asgard Divide, it was. Do you remember how? I think they kind of did it very, very to the end, right? If I'm not mistaken, they kind of dangled the carrot and then they did the
Yeah.
Freyja event.
So,
I can't.
so the funny thing was, they told us at the start, which was great. They were like, "There will be a deck of Fate for Freyja." Like that was, I
Yeah,
think,
that
pretty
was it.
clear early on. But then it ended up turning into a really negative thing because
Hmm.
everyone was waiting for this deck of Fate and expecting to get Freyja, and then because it was really expensive, it felt to people like they had been told that they would easily get Freyja, and then they couldn't actually get her. So they waited months for a champion they thought they would
Yeah.
get, and then didn't. And yeah, God, the
Yeah.
outrage was crazy. I was really glad to be away on holiday. I was like, I don't even know. I was just like, I've got the Soul Stone saved up. Great, cool. Pulled for her, got her. It was like, job done. Great, cool. And I missed all the
Yeah.
drama. It was nice. Nice to miss some drama.
Oh, was it? It was a Souls one, right? To get her, or was it
Yeah,
actual
yeah. I think it
shards?
was
I can't.
Camp Training
Okay.
Souls, maybe?
I,
Something
I
like
f-
that.
I think that could have been one of the reasons I didn't. I might have saved the shards for it, but
Mm.
also I went for literally every single progressive chance 10x event that came up, right? And
Mm.
even till this day, I still do it. Whenever Frey is there, I'm summoning shards, and I just can't get her. But I didn't go for the guarantee to answer your question. But it's
Okay.
a champion I do want. I don't know why. I just like the champ. But
Yeah, yeah. No,
yeah.
she's really good. And there's this is I use her for arena. A good bit in live arena actually. Like if the enemy picks Sifi, I pick her as like a alternative to Sifi. She's really good.
Yeah.
And I use her in tag as well, and probably in siege too. You can build her so many ways. She's got 110 base speed. She's really fast, and she's got a turn meter boost. So you could build her mega fast turn meter booster. You could build her as a damage dealer. You can build her as I've got her as sort of a mix where she's like mid speed. But she comes in with the cleanse, but she's also built for damage, though not with lethal or anything. But like, there's a lot you can do with this champ. She's really versatile.
Yeah.
So she's a great champ. But yeah, I use her all the time now. I got the 4-star soul. Is very happy because she really wants them. She likes them stats, to be honest. So yeah, Freyja. And then we've got what were the other two? It was Little Miss
Belz the
Annie was,
Reckoner and
I think
Little
she was
Miss Annie.
Halloween. I think she was 100 voids, and then Belz the Reckoner was probably about 20 sacreds. Little Miss Annie first. Did you go for Little Miss? I'm guessing you didn't, but
No, I can't remember the last time I had 100 voids. Honestly, it's so bad. I'm a kind of I've got the yeet mentality where if I just see like random 10x events, not even for videos, sometimes it's just something I like to do. It's just, oh, I like this champion, let me just pop a couple shards, and I end up with 0 all the time. Sad times, but
fair.
yeah, I probably, honestly, even if I had 100, I don't think I would have went for Little Miss Annie.
Yeah.
Personally.
So I didn't do it. I pulled her, I don't know, years ago. I haven't really used her. She did get buffed. She got reworked a bit, and I think she can do some okay stuff for like Chimera and Amius, and she's really good against Fire Knight Hard and Curse City. I use her for that. I use her for Fire Knight Hard, Curse City. That's about it. She can also like smack Shogun and Sand Devil and stuff. She hits really hard. But yeah, I don't actually use her. Again, I've only got a 1-star soul, so it's like, I mean, until she gets a 4-star, again, it's just difficult to justify.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's her. And the final one was Belz the Reckoner, who I thought I had skipped, but apparently I did it. I need to go back and find why I did. It must have been a good event or something. I don't know. I've got him apparently.
It's cool that you got him, right? That's an extra one.
Sure. I've obviously clearly never used him. I'm not planning to use him really. But yeah, I mean, if I don't know, did you go for him? Was it Christmas? I think?
No, for some reason I remember writing the guide for the guy on the website, and I had a lot of fun writing the bio for him. Do you know, like the little story?
Yeah.
But outside of that, that was the most fun that I'll probably ever have with Belz the Reckoner, because I don't have him, right? But,
yeah,
he looks cool though. I like it. It's kind of like Krampus, you know. Really
yeah,
fun.
exactly. Yeah. I mean, he's I think again it's the same sort of thing for me as Esme, where he's actually a really solid champion, but he's just not like crazy endgame. He's great for Hydra, really easy to keep alive, does decent damage, but I've got better options. Yeah, I don't know. I've no plans to use him. I'd build him just fairly standard damage gear. Really, HP damage gear. Yeah, that'd be it. But there we go. I think that was everything. Let us know in the comments if we missed one. Hopefully we got them all. But yeah, that was me and YST reviewing every fusion and guaranteed legendary from the last year. Wow, it's been a big one. YST, thank you for joining. Anything you want to say here at the end of this video?
No, just appreciate you having me on. I'm not sure when this video is going out, but have a great holiday. You know, bring me back a magnet, and for all of your viewers watching, he's gonna sit there and spend a good £2,000 to £3,000 on your magnets, guys. You know.
Yeah, sure. I would love to. Let me get back to you on that. I'll just yeah, sure, absolutely. It might be a few years, like I don't know, 100 years late or something with shipping. You know how it is.
Guaranteed magnet event.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you for watching. Make sure to check out YST, obviously, in the description and the title if you somehow haven't already. And we'll be doing a collab over on his channel, so go check that out too. It'll be out around probably the same time, I guess. Who knows? We don't know. We'll find out. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.